Yeah.
Brews and Reviews. What's up? This is Pete. And I'll be sipping on one of my favorite beers. They don't pay me, so I'm not going to give them any shout outs. But it's definitely one of my favorite beers. It's an IPA. IPAs are good. They tend to be a little bit on the stronger side. I like the flavor. You know, as much as you could like the flavor of beer. But anyways, today we're just gonna briefly talk about George R. R. Martin today leaking a new chapter from The Winds of Winter. It's a Sansa chapter, or aka Elaine Stone. I guess George was tired of HBO stealing all the thunder from the new release of season 5 coming really soon, a week from Sunday. Can't wait. We start off in the Vale where Sweet Robin is. Let's see. How do we break down this Sweet Robin thing? Obviously, he's being manipulated by Sansa, and she's trying to keep him at bay. She's the one filling his head with all the information. They're controlling the narrative of what it is that he knows. They're in his ear, pretty much. Her, and mainly her, and probably a little bit of Littlefinger, but I'm sure she just takes her cues from Littlefinger. You can see Sansa really growing into this role with Sweet Robin and just manipulating him the way that, you know, that she wants to. At the same time, you see Sweet Robin has bigger intentions for Sansa, but while she keeps him at bay by, you know, curving him, making, you know, letting it be known that, you know, he's stuck in the friend zone, she's still not going too far away where he's turned off by her. She still wants her in the way that a little kid can want, you know, has a crush on their babysitter, you know. That is all very interesting. How Sansa is now a master manipulator. I'm guessing she's pulling inspiration from her past escapades in King's Landing and whatever other tidbits that Littlefinger might have filled her in on during this time, because at this time we don't really know how much time has passed. It's not too much, but it has been some time past where, you know, plans have been made, and it seems like, you know, Elaine Stone is solidifying her presence in the Vale. She comes up with the idea of the tournament to provide Sweet Robin with some knights to protect him, so he'll probably feel safe. Yeah, so Sansa comes up with this idea for the tourney, and it reminds me of when she on the spot came up with the idea to make Sir Dantos a fool when she was trying to save his life from being killed by Joffrey at his little birthday gathering or whatever that was. So she has these moments of where, you know, she could think on her feet, and she gets a little courage and you know, comes up with these good ideas. It almost reminds me of when Daenerys would have, when she was younger, and she would have a dream, and then all of a sudden she would gain courage all of a sudden to do what she wanted to do. Obviously, there are she's exercising all her advantages of being the daughter of the Lord Protector, Littlefinger Baelish, and she's not just letting it be a one-way street. She's adding her input as well in whatever schemes they might be plotting. Another thing I see is during her conversation with Miranda, who she comes saves from the two knights that she obviously doesn't want anything to do with. They're having a pretty candid conversation, and other than her talking with Cersei about using the thing between their legs as a way to get what they want, you haven't really seen Sansa having real adult conversations like that, especially in a way where it's like sexual, and you see Miranda freely saying talking about sex and those type of female conversations that goes on when guys aren't around. But throughout the time, even though she's engaging in a conversation, for the most part, you don't see her. She always tries to remain, the proper lady that she thinks she is. But you could tell that Miranda feels comfortable enough to speak like that around her, and doesn't really have a problem with it. I mean, at the same time, you have to think she's posing as a bastard, so she can't be too uppity, because people are gonna be like, well, you're acting above your status or whatever, because everything in the world of Westeros seems to be about people people always putting other people in their place, that type of thing. So she has a little encounter with Harry the Heir, and that's another example of him putting her in her place, as I just mentioned, because he looks down on her and calls her a bastard, but she plays it off well, because I think it seems like she has a good sense of who she is, but at the same time she's playing that role to a T. I think it's pretty cool, that dynamic of how she's playing that role but still understanding who she is. And it's going to be interesting going forward to see how she balances that off by knowing that she's a Stark, a highborn lady, but at the same time she's playing the role of a lowly bastard. So she goes and has her little chat with Littlefinger about how to approach this, and Littlefinger gives her some pointers, and it seems like she takes it and almost knows exactly what needs to be done, because she goes to the feast that they have and pretty much pulls it off flawlessly, and she knows exactly what to do and how to manipulate Harry the Heir, and how to push his buttons and then bring it back, and doing that, like, that's a seduction thing that females do, where they put you on the defensive, but then still make it so that, okay, you have that room to go after them. And that's the way I see that happening, and she pulls that off pretty well. And it's like, it makes you wonder, like, where does she get that from? She hasn't really had that experience, because up until now it's been her being this little girl in starry-eyed in love. So where is she pulling that experience from, of being this temptress, but still being able to command that respect, where Harry the Heir doesn't get out of pocket and overstep his boundaries, her boundaries. But yeah, that's what I've gotten from the excerpt, and it's definitely interesting, a different side of Sansa. I'm definitely interested in seeing where her role goes, everybody, she's been a character that has had a lot of downs, not many ups. Even her being saved by Littlefinger, I wouldn't really count that as an up, because she's just, moving. I mean, while she's safe, physically safe, she doesn't know, at least from what we can tell, she doesn't know what Littlefinger's plans are for her. So while she's currently physically safe, she doesn't know if she's completely safe, So as a character, is this gonna be an arc where she's just gonna keep, progressing into this, powerful woman that could take advantage of her situation instead of being the victim that she kind of has been this whole time? And that'll be interesting to see, like, sort of like how Daenerys started off as sort of a person that wasn't really empowered, but then eventually became empowered through, the loss of Drogo and her baby, and then getting the dragons and all of that. And so it'll be very interesting to see how that goes. And some of the other questions that I had was, like I said, we're gonna see more of an adult Sansa in adult situations, and maybe, how far is she willing to go to pull off her schemes? Like, is there a Sansa sex scene in the future? Like that'll just be weird. But I wonder if that's in the plans. And what's the end game for Sweet Robin and Harry the Heir? What's their play there? I know, ultimately they're trying to get complete control of the Vale, but I wonder how they're gonna go about that, and what's the fate of these two cat spas, or whatever you call. And another thing that I noticed, what's the significance of the obvious money issues the houses in the Vale seem to be having? And of course, they mentioned the one person, I forgot his name, but obviously Peter is funding this, this big tourney and feast, and he seems to be the person with all the money. So that's why the houses are, whilst a lot of them don't really like him, they seem to be getting behind him, because he is, Daddy Morebucks over there, making things happen. So let me know what y'all think. Please comment, share this video, like it, and don't forget to subscribe. And also follow us on Twitter, because we're gonna have more content coming as the season starts and progresses. I'm gonna start doing weekly reviews. And that's it. That's Brews and Reviews. P. Holla at your boy. One.